Be following it. Thanks, Greg. So let's turn to our attention back to Iran, where President Trump has vowed to continue the strikes until America's objectives are achieved. First and foremost, Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. So what does that mean for the coming weeks? Joining us now, senior national security and legal analyst for the Daily Signal, Mehek Cooke, along with Fox News contributor, Powerist founder Brett Velikovich. Brett, I want to go to you first. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. I think one of the main things is that the president does not want to let the world know what's next. He wants the element of surprise. He doesn't want our enemies to know play by play. But with the destruction of that bridge, which is a central point of transport for a lot of Iranians and terror people, the president is not taking his foot off the gas, right?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Lawrence. That's because peace doesn't come from hoping your enemies just behave. It comes from making them understand they don't have another choice. Iran is running out of choices. That's what we're seeing right now as a result of our military strikes. In my opinion, the White House sent a very clear and a long overdue message last night to both our allies and adversaries that the era of endless negotiations with hostile regimes who chant death to America is over. When the president says the U.S. is going to hit Iran extremely hard in the coming weeks, that is the exact strategic clarity our enemy needs to hear. He's taking away the ambiguity Iran has used to exploit us for decades while they toyed with escalation and nuclear Armageddon. We tried talking, we tried diplomacy, we tried patience. All that did was get Americans killed in our interest attacks. And so that chapter is closed. Iran now faces a binary choice. Take a fair deal, rejoin the international community with what's left of your leadership, or escalate and face the full weight of the military that hasn't even gotten started with what we're capable of. This is a final exit ramp for them. And the way I see it, Tehran is on borrowed time. They should choose peace fast because our military is systematically dismantling their warfighting capability day by day. No military on earth can do what the United States just did at this scale, this speed, this precision. Not China, not Russia, no international coalition, no one.
You know, Mehek, Brett just laid it out. Clear and concise, the objectives of the president, what he's already accomplished, and yet you see a media that is almost rooting against the country. I've never seen this in my life before. For the president to take out some of the top 10 people that are on our kill list that have brought death and destruction to our country, and they won't even give them credit, give our military credit for that?
Well, that's what our media is today. Mainstream media is so against President Trump, and they are weighing in on the midterms. They want to tell the American people we're losing when Americans can see in broad daylight what President Trump has delivered, which is what he promised. No more nuclear weapons in Iran, or he'll obliterate them into the Stone Ages. And instead of celebrating these victories, mainstream media is trying to turn America against Republicans and common sense. But we're not falling for it, Lawrence. We know what's at stake today. President Trump was very clear. Now, I have to say, we have to finish this. I'm not for any type of peace deal or treaty, because at the end of the day, what do peace deals do? You can't negotiate with terrorists. We're giving jihadist-loving, American-hating terrorists an off-ramp. They deserve nothing. You can't negotiate with terrorists. And the worst part about this is Iran is still holding the Strait of Hormuz hostage. What does that mean? 20% of the world's oil supply. And guess who's sneaking in there? It's China. China is smiling. They haven't lifted a finger. They're getting the oil supplies, and now they're pushing the broker a peace deal. And at the end of the day, Iran and the Middle East will be thanking China, and they're going to gain leverage. So President Trump needs to continue this, and the American people finally know what's at stake. It's not only our livelihoods, but at the end of the day, we have to stop the terrorist threat that was creeping into American lives.
Yeah, we can't have, Brett, economic prosperity if we're not living to tell the story. And we know they're the number one state sponsor of terror. But Iran has made it very clear their one leverage point is the Strait. They plan on putting pressure on the president by making it so costly for the world that the president bags out of it. But it doesn't look like he is.
Well, look, Iran wants to still pretend to project strength with these sporadic drone strikes and missile attacks. But let's be honest, that's a behavior of a regime that's losing control of the battlefield.
That's right.
When your tactical playbook shifts from coordinated operations to this scattered retaliation, it means your infrastructure is collapsing. It means your command and control is disrupted. But what I do see Iran attempting now is this strategy of hoping we don't have the will at home to see this through. That's why I hate to see critics who don't understand the threat regurgitating Iranian talking points to try and stir up Washington. Iran right now understands it's never going to win a conventional fight against the United States, but that's not their objective now. Their objective is endurance. They want to preserve enough of their nuclear capability to remain a long-term threat while raising the cost of any U.S. action high enough to discourage follow-through. That's why their messaging is focused on retaliation. They want to raise the political cost in Washington. They want domestic haters of our military and our government to try and sow chaos among us. Their strategy is clear. Survive, stall, keep the uranium. They're not trying to defeat us. They're trying to outlast our will. They're betting that the United States doesn't have the will to finish what it started. And that's why real American leadership for deterrence matters here more than ever.
We have been dealing with this for 47 years. 47 years. Numerous amount of presidents did not have the political will, but it looks like this one does. And we're going to be following it every step of the way. Thank y'all so much for joining the program. So a horrific scene in New York City yesterday where